Hi, I'm Jim Munro from Sun Sport. We're here on location to catch up with a football colossus who's now a giant of Hollywood.
I started off where I used to have an old retired actor that used to run all the lines with me. But what I found now, I mean, you know, we're 70 movies in now, so I can actually, I scan over it, you know, read the script and everything, and then, you know, sort of scan over the dialogue and everything, and then come the morning or the day before, I'll go over it. And I do find that when we actually block it, you know, like rehearsals, you know, like 20 minutes before we actually film it, I seem to get it. It's quite cool. Yeah, I'm not as nervous now, you know, I'm not as nervous as I used to be about making mistakes and that, because literally, you know, I've worked with the biggest and the best, and they all, you know, fluff their lines, and it's literally like, all right, go again, there's nothing thought of it. Whereas, you know, when I first started and knew nothing about the game, you know, you're terrified of missing one word or fluffing a word, or, you know, all them fears have gone now.
Was that worse than pre-match nerves?
At the beginning it was, because it's, you know...
Bigger stakes.
Yeah, you know, it's okay, you know, when you know, gone in 60 seconds, I sort of went 4 months without any dialogue, and my dialogue was at the end. So I was like, you know, cocky as they come.
When you're actually filming, and there's a bit of a break in filming, does the ball come out? Do you have a bit of a kick about? Are there any Hollywood stars?
Scott Kahn was so into his football. Really? You know, they all come out and say, yeah, I played in college and this, that and the other, you know, and I used to play with Owen Wilson. We used to play like head tennis in the tennis courts. We introduced him to head football, you know, head tennis football, 2v2, and he loved it. And then, you know, when we was filming in Hawaii, Morgan Freeman used to come out and sit there and really enjoy it. Yeah.
It's quite a surreal scene for you when you consider, you know, what you were doing 15 years ago. Suddenly you've got all these Hollywood A-listers sitting around you having a game of head tennis.
Yeah, but, you know, I said to someone the other day, at the beginning I used to, you know, be like that as well, you know, the way you're thinking. But the thing is, you know, sport is such a big thing out there. It's massive. It's like the number one thing, really. I'd say before the movies, you know, it's sport. It's such a sport-orientated country. Like nowadays, you've got the internet. They look you up in 2 minutes. I do. If I'm doing a movie and they say, you know, X, Y, and Z is in the movie, I just go on Google or IMDb and just look them up and see who I'm working with. So obviously they do that. And, you know, even the big stars, you know, when I go on, they look, you know, Captain Wales, you know, played in European Championship qualifiers and all the rest of it. Captain, you know, of my football teams and all that in the Premier League, because it's on the telly all the time out there, the Premiership. So they all know it. So I go on as quite a big star anyway. Then when they see you act, you get the credibility from them, and then, you know, then you get invited to the barbecue the following week. It's pretty cool.
Then you've hit the scene, yeah. You own a Hollywood All-Stars. Don't fancy owning a Premier League team?
I don't really, you know, I mean, I mean, well, if you see me half-time rant on YouTube, you won't think it's fun, that's for sure. I have a cardiac arrest, but it's great fun because you see, out there, it's not like paying £2 subs to play on a Sunday morning out there, you know, I mean, you know, you got like 100 quid a week ref fees, you got, I mean, just to be in the league is 3 or 4 grand, you know, an hour and a half to train is about 250 a session. Jeez. Because they haven't got as many pitches as us, so, and most of it's AstroTurf, so they literally open the gates to these pitches at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they shut them at 11 o'clock at night, and they're packed. So it's very hard to get on. They can charge what they want. So I try and subsidise the boys.
It's already taken off in America.
It's definitely there, you know. I mean, it's crept along. I mean, it has crept along. You know, you got Galaxy. I think Beckham done as much as he could. Beckham done a great job, I think, but you ain't ever going to overtake basketball, no, baseball or American football. No. Not in a million years. Yeah. It's like, you know, they couldn't bring baseball over. It don't matter. You know, the biggest star that they've got, you know, Kobe Bryant came over here with the basketball. Yeah, there'd be a bit of interest from you boys and, you know, the press and the media and all that. But then, you know, how long can you keep that going? But, you know, the kids here are born with footballs at their feet. That's the difference, you know, and over there they're not.
Take you back then to your playing days. Your big move from Wimbledon to Leeds. That was actually the time when Gordon Strachan joined Leeds as well.
He just joined just before me.
Yeah, you cost twice as much as he did at the time. I think you were about 650 and he was 300,000. You joined Leeds just when they were on the up, didn't you? Howard Wilkinson was building that team.
They went all in and they brought Mel Sterland, Strachan, me, Chris Fairclough from Tottenham. Yeah. You know, just Lee Chapman they brought. So they absolutely went for the gamble. Luckily it paid off, we went up. I think the club would have been in quite a big state of affairs if we hadn't. Gordon Strachan's probably one of the most professional pros I've ever played with. There obviously weren't many at Wimbledon, not in the first time round anyway. They were all, there was all lunatics. But Strachan was probably one of the first, or still is, the Mr. Number One pro that I played with. He trained with his heart and soul. I think he sort of, he got through to the other players that how important it was. We were there to do a job, you know, and they told me like during the next season, so it showed they were doing a job, you know. Although Wilkinson has come out since and said, you know, he should never have let me go, which was nice of him. But at that time, when you're not in the team, you've been the king of the castle all season, won the league, you know, you're the king of the cop. They loved me, they still do, and to be sitting on the sidelines and people then come up to you, oh, why aren't you playing? You ain't got an answer for them. Oh, it was heart-wrenching. And the minute, you know, I mean, not just Wilkinson's fault, mine as well, because I bolted. And where did I bolt? Bassett. 30 mile down the road at Sheffield. So really, I should have held on a little bit because I was playing great. But you're playing with some great talent. You know, players, you know, Strachan had played 50, 60 games for Scotland, Mel Sterling for England, you know, Fairclough for England. But when you're not, you know, when you're not at the bottom of the league scrapping for everything, it's easy to play nice football. But take Gordon Strachan and put him in the Wimbledon team that I came for, you know, he would look a different player. So for people to, you know, judge me both ways, but you've got to bear in mind is, out of all the odds, you know, don't worry about the odds for the cup final beating Liverpool in '88. When I went to Sheffield United, we had 7 points going into Christmas and we stayed up. No one's ever done that. I played in, you know, some teams at the bottom that scrapped, you know, and they put me at the front as captain and I got them out of it. I never, ever got relegated in 15 years.